What is going on, guys? This is Versus All Gaming with my review of Noragami episode 4. In this episode, it was hilarious. It had me dying with laughter. I was enjoying this episode so freaking much. So the episode starts off with Yato. He's having this dream right now where he is this really famous god. And he has this girl up there, getting his autograph and like paying him for a wish. And when we see Yukine like stand to the side being security. Now that right there was like really funny seeing him, kind of like dressed up like that. But then we go to this limo ride where he has all these girls, kind of like those sisters that what's that god name? The god that we saw in the last episode. Yato has similar sisters in his limo, like her. And so we see that, like he passing these people on the street, and he actually gives them this nickname. I believe it was called the Yatoites, something like that. And then we see, like, of course we know this over here is a dream, but we have Yukine. He finally got, so fed up with like all the guys to sleep talking that he actually kicked them down the stairs of the shrine that they were sleeping at. And that right there was just hilarious. And then we go to the following morning where we have Hiyori, who has come there to give them all breakfast, lunch, whatever you want to call it. But she had bought them a bento meal. And while they were eating, we have Yato, who was so into the food that he was kind of ignoring what Hiyori was saying, because she still want her wish granted where her soul won't randomly come out. And we have Yukine, who actually kind of fed up right now because he actually couldn't get much sleep. But we see that like Yato actually got pretty serious for a moment, because he thought that all these dreams that he was having were going to come true. And you can just see that right there kind of scared Hiyori and Yukine a little bit. But we find out that this guy got scammed, because he bought this pot that was supposed to bring him some luck if he followed this like little routine. And he also bought these little trinkets as well that was supposed to benefit him in certain things. And so he got really scammed, and Yukine and Hiyori got so fed up that Hiyori actually used one of those like MMA moves to destroy that pot. And so now she was saying that him and Yukine, they share one body and mind, so he should not act this way, because he was actually kind of depressed and feeling sad because they have broke this pot. And so now Yato actually wants to introduce him to somebody. I was like wondering who could it be. So they go to this area, and we see that there was this pink haired girl, and her name is Kofuku. And so this girl was apparently Yato's girlfriend, and that right there really surprised me, and even Hiyori was shocked to learn that. And then we see that like Yato kind of convinced her, or guilt tripped her into giving him money. But then we have this one guy that like came out of nowhere and just kicked the crap out of Yato, that had sent her flying into one of those vending machines. And so at first I thought that Yato really was that kind of guy that would definitely like go after a taken woman. But we learned that Kofuku, she's actually a goddess, and this guy Daikoku, he's actually her regalia. So that is why he was referring to her as his lady, because they're partners. And so this guy, he is like definitely a very serious looking character, but we actually find out that he is a huge fan of kids, because he actually likes to watch them. So this guy, even though he has that like thuggish look, he's actually a teddy bear on the inside. But Yato had like managed to strike a nerve with him, and Daikoku actually kicked him and sent him flying. And so then afterwards we have Daikoku and Yukine. They were like talking about like to each other, and they were like getting to know one another, because they are both regalia, so they could like definitely bond. And Daikoku made a comment about how young he was, because if Daikoku is a regalia, we see that he's an adult. He like this right here is the oldest regalia that we have seen so far. He's not really young like the other, so that right there was good. I'm glad that it's not so many young people out here dying and becoming regalias. So I'm glad that an adult had a good spirit and was able to become one. That right there I definitely like. And so we have Kofuku. She was getting very friendly with Hiyori. And I'm not saying that I didn't like that, but that right there was pretty funny to me. But then we have Yato who finally managed to come back, and it's because he got a job. So of course, he's going to take Yukine along with him, and Hiyori also went as well. And so we see that this guy, he was standing on the ledge of this building, and he was calling his mother, to give her a message. But right in the middle of that, we have Yato who appeared and accidentally pushed him off. And that right there was hilarious because they were all freaking out because he was falling. So then they jump after him, and rather than saving him right away, we have Yato give him this card. And we have our client here also give him a card. And this fall right here went on for 10 minutes, but it was funny though, because at one point even Yukine, he had brought up how long this fall was going on. So that right there, which is hilarious. And so now we learn that this guy, he was trying to call his mother, but he called Yato by accident. And he also pointed out that all of these cars that he has, that Yato has, he actually handmade them, so you could tell that a lot of time and work went into them. But while they were falling, we actually learned that this guy, he actually fell in love with a girl. But the thing that made it really funny to me was that rather than us seeing a girl face at first, they actually used Hiyori face, because the guy was saying that she's around the same age and the same body shape as the girl that he fell in love with, and this girl was like a wanderer or a runaway. And so eventually, after spending time together, they fell in love. And this guy just spent all of his money, taking out the places and doing all these things for her. And so we see, while they were spending time together, every time they went out on a date, something very bad would happen. Bad luck wasn't far behind when it came to these two. And then we see that his job, his job work, that right there started to go down. He lost his savings till he eventually, had to go bankrupt. And that's why he was going to kill himself. But we learned that there's a girl who he fell in love with. It was actually Kofuku. And to make things worse, she is a god actually, but she is a god of poverty. So wherever she is, bad luck is sure to come after her, because she actually brings that to her victims. And so that right there shocked me. I had no idea, that the girl that he fell in love with was going to be Kofuku. Because as a goddess, you definitely wouldn't think that she'll be a runaway. But we learned that the only way to save this guy and for him to get his life back on track, if he had to, sever the bonds with Kofuku. And of course, Yato was going to use Yukine to do that. But even Yukine was kind of doubtful if he could do that or not, because killing a phantom is definitely very different compared to cutting somebody's bonds. And so once he did it, we see that this guy, he actually landed safely, because by the time that he reached the ground, he slowed down a lot. And we see that on this phone, Kofuku's number was deleted. So I'm guessing that picture that had her as well, that right there was also gone. And so Kofuku, she actually did not think that she was the one that had brought all the bad luck to this guy, but her regalia, Daikaku, he actually, told her not to go out or do anything, but she had disobeyed him, and that's how what's the name, Yosuke, and her, met in the first place. But now that was dealt with, Daikaku actually paid the fee for granting that guy wish. And we actually learned that, these gods here have a very dark past, or at least Yato. Because early in the episode, we actually learned that Kofuku first heard about Yato from this very scary rumor. And then we see, this little flashback of this guy in, the old, what's the word? The old, past Japanese days when people were wearing, kimonos. And basically, it was that whole, samurai era kind of thing where we see, Yato back then. And we learned that he actually killed a regalia before. And then because he is, the god of war, he has also killed a few people as well. And so then we have Yukine, who was actually, skipping rocks. And then, something weird happened. We see that all of those ripples that the rock had made, it had caved back then, or it came back in like time's going backwards. But then we had this very cute moment with with Yato and Hiyori, because Hiyori stayed back a little bit to talk to Kofuku and Dagoku, and Yato told her that if everything happened to him, then she should like definitely go to him straight away, because they were saying that a god will disappear if like nobody believes in him, and that's why Yato does any job that's given to him, because if he didn't get any jobs at all, then he'll go away forever. But if he does these jobs, no matter what kind it is, like no matter how small the job is, as long as he does it, as long as he does it, people will believe in him, so he'll stay around. So that right there is definitely a very important note. But then we have this girl that has like these markings on her body that are similar to where we see these regalia, transform. And Yato definitely knows her, and her name is Nora. But that right there is not her true name. And so I'm thinking that, this Nora person, she has to be the regalia that Yato killed. But I'm wondering how is she around now if Yato killed her. But I'm definitely curious about where that's going to go, and I also wonder, what's going to be her true name, because I'm pretty sure, if her name was yours, then she could be, Noragami. That right there could be her full name. But I'm definitely curious in this Nora character. I'm hoping that we see her, more, and not it to being like a few episodes kind of thing. Cause I'm definitely intrigued by this character. I'm definitely want to know this past that she has with Yato as well. But like I said, this episode, it was definitely hilarious. It had me dying with laughter. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it so much. I give it, a very good high rating, like the highest rating I could possibly get. No. I take that back. I'll give it a very good rating. Cause I can't say it's like a masterpiece, because it just made me laugh a lot. But of course, I did enjoy it quite a bit. But as always, please do not forget to like the video and subscribe, because that really helps me out. And as always, you guys take it easy, and I'll see you all next time.